welcome to Chopstick Travel. I'm Luke Martin and today I'm in Sabah, Malaysia, here on the island of Borneo. And the plan for today's video is to meet with the world famous Bornean orangutans. So I'm in the town of Sepilok, which is famous for its rehabilitation center, where you can see up close and personal orangutans. And then I'm gonna head into the city of Sandakan, which is nearby Sepilok, to check out the culinary scene. It's gonna be a great episode, so make sure you stay tuned until the end. Let's go eat some Malaysian food. So I'm heading into the sanctuary. This place has been open since 1964. It's part of a 10,000 plus acre nature preserve. And now that I've entered, at any time really, an orangutan could just pop out of nowhere. But they also feed them at 9:30, so you're pretty much guaranteed a chance to see them. So heading to the platform where they're gonna feed. Wow, didn't even need to wait until feeding time to spot some of them. They came right over my head and they are seriously beautiful, majestic animals. Wow, so cool. Okay, now heading to see them feeding. That was absolutely amazing to watch the orangutans feed, and I was surprised because I thought a lot of them were going to come out, but only a couple came to take some food, and the macaques, the naughty little monkeys, came and started stealing all the food from the mother with her baby. But it was such an incredible sight. This is a rehabilitation center, so these orangutans are saved from different things, logging and poaching and stuff like that, and then they are rehabilitated here until they're ready to be released back into the wild. One thing to keep in mind is you're gonna have to jostle with a lot of other tourists to get a good spot to take a nice picture. And also, whew, I've got a butterfly flying around me. Oh, look at this. Wants to land on me. Oh, it's right here. Look at it. Landed right on me. I think it wants the durian. Ooh. Hello. Borneo is a really special island. Orangutans can only be found in Borneo and on the island of Sumatra, so only 2 islands in the world where you can find them in the wild, and this is probably the best place to see them up close because this is a rehabilitation center and they do the feeding, so you can get a really good look at them, but at the same time you pay to support a really good cause. The Sepilok Rehabilitation Center for orangutans is not something you're going to want to miss on your trip to Borneo, and you should not miss Borneo on your trip to Malaysia, so make sure don't forget about Eastern Malaysia. So now I'm going to head into the city of Sandakan, which is just about a 30-minute drive from Sepilok, and take you on a street food tour. Let's go. So I've come down to my first stop. This place is called Kedai Kopi Baru Bar Lok Yuen, and they're famous for their kaya buns and coffee. So it's like a real old school Chinese style coffee shop. Gonna go inside and get myself a coffee and some kaya toast.
One only, this one?
Yeah, one only. Is this red bean?
Yes, red bean.
Red bean inside?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Red bean.
This is a really old school shop. I love the atmosphere here. It kind of reminds me of the coffee shops in Penang, and I've ordered up a couple of their specialties. So the first one is this. It's called khao sup, and it's a pastry that's been filled with red bean. But this here in the middle is what they're really famous for. It's called kawin bun, and you can order it again with red bean, or I ordered it with peanuts. So there's peanuts, there's butter, and there's kaya, and they bake this bread in-house. I can feel it feels so soft. And just look at that beautiful kaya butter mixture. That looks so good. And then of course, a nice black coffee. Look at how dark black that coffee is with a little bit of condensed milk in it. Classic Kopi, Malaysian style Kopi. Oh wow, I'm just loving the atmosphere here. Really laid back, really chill. Oh yeah, that's strong coffee, a little bit sweet too. Yum, that's so thick and rich. I gotta try out their famous kawin bun. Just look at the kaya butter mixture there with all that granular peanuts. It looks like maybe a little bit of sugar in there too, and that feels like a really freshly baked bun. That's amazing. I love the contrast between the spongy bun and the crunchy peanuts. And it's a little bit sweet, but it's also contrasted with some of the saltiness from the butter. But that bun is just so soft on the outside. You can tell that they're clearly making these in-house every day fresh, because you can't get that kind of fluffiness if you're not making it every day. Oh man. So this is another one of their popular things, the khao sup bun, and filled with red bean. Look at that. Beautiful filling in there. Much more mild and a little bit drier than the kawin bun. It was good with coffee though. I gotta give it up for their famous kawin bun, and I just ordered a second one because one is not enough. But I love the amount of peanuts in there. Just look at all the peanuts, butter, kaya. It doesn't look like much, but I could eat that for breakfast every day. Quick stop, really delicious kawin bun, and this is an institution here in Sandakan. I'm gonna keep the tour going and head out to a little water village. You're gonna wanna see this. Here, all of the buildings are built on kind of stilts over top of the water. It's low tide right now, so the water actually hasn't come in. These are traditionally homes of people known as sea gypsies, one of the indigenous people of Sabah, and most of them are fishermen and making their living fishermen. And there's actually a little restaurant that's built in this village, so I'm gonna go check out that now. They have different types of fish drying here. Big ones, I saw actually the coconut clam that I tried when I was in Kota Kinabalu, and then here they've got some mussels. And this isn't a tourist attraction. People are really living inside of these houses, and the restaurant is right up here. Let's go try it out. So when I arrived at the restaurant, I asked the owner what I should order, and she said I should order the seafood macaroni. And what I thought she meant was just noodles, because I am clearly a Westerner. So I thought she just called noodles macaroni, but I was wrong. It actually is seafood macaroni. Look at that. There is little macaronis in there and big, big prawns. A couple pieces of squid in there, and then some big chunks of fish as well. And I'm quite surprised that it's actually macaroni. Let me try some of these noodles, some of these macaronis. It's a slightly salty, seafoody broth with a really nice hint of fresh seafood in there. It's not too strong, but a little bit salty. Yeah, I can taste all that seafood in there. Let me go in for some of the goodies this time. Lots of variety of seafood in here. I think I'm gonna try out some of the squid tentacles first.
really bouncy.
Quite a simple bowl, to be honest. It's just all about that freshness of the seafood, and I'm gonna try this big, look at this chunk of fish in here. Let me try that. The seafood in there is super fresh. Even though it's just a very simple bowl of noodles, what makes this good is how fresh that seafood is and how cool the restaurant is floating on the water. Not really floating, but sitting on top of the water. Oh, fish is so fresh, yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a restaurant in Asia serving these types of macaroni noodles, so I don't know if they're making them themselves or what, but it's definitely a first for me. They're not al dente. They're a little bit cooked more than you would have it if you're gonna have these macaroni in Italy or something. But the broth is amazing. These shrimp are quite big. And I'm gonna have to go with my fingers here. I've also got this chili sauce which was on the table. Go for a little dip. Oh, that sauce is awesome. Not the best bowl of noodles I've ever had in my life, but pretty interesting setting, and with the macaroni and some fresh seafood, not bad. I'm gonna go for a little bit of a dessert now.
Oh, 2 each?
No, we can't. So I've come for dessert at another little bakery, old school coffee shop called Kedai, Roti, Gold Crown. They're famous for 2 things in particular. One is their egg tart, this one right here, and the other is their UFO tart, which is this. And to be honest, I'm not really sure what this UFO tart is. It looks like a meringue on the top here, and I guess it gives it the UFO appearance, and then maybe lemon inside, and then a really soft cake on the bottom. Let me go for this guy first. It's a really soft cake on the bottom, almost like a pancake. And I thought it was gonna be like lemon, but I think it's just custard on the top. It's quite sweet, and there's nothing really too special about it. It's just a really soft, moist cake on the bottom, which I really like. Look at how goopy that is in the middle. This is their famous egg tart. Perfect little dessert. Oh wow. Look at that custard filling. Whoa, that is so creamy on the inside. It is super, super soft and a nice eggy flavor. Not as sweet as the UFO tart. And crumbly on the outside. Whoa, it's like falling apart in my hands. Oh no. Good UFO tart and egg tart. This town is just so chill. It's a city, but it's pretty much got the vibe of a village. Really laid back and relaxing. Gonna take a little bit of a break and then head back out for dinner this evening to have something that's very unique that you can really only try, I think, here in Sabah. Back out for dinner tonight here in Sandakan, and I've come for bakute to this little restaurant called Nam Chai. But of course I'm not going to take you for a regular bakute. Here in Sabah you can actually have seafood bakute. So you'll check their menu, see all the regular options of bakute, all the pork options, and then right underneath that there's a couple seafood options. So I ordered the shrimp bakute udang, and I also ordered one with fish and then a regular one as well. So I'm quite excited to try it out. I can't tell you I've ever heard of seafood bakute before coming here, so I'm quite excited. Thank you. Wow. Wow, that smells so good. Bakute has arrived, and we have some really interesting ones on the table, specifically this one, the entire fish. So traditionally bakute is just with pork ribs or pork bones. I've never ever seen it with any seafood, let alone an entire fish. Look at that, that's just quite an interesting looking dish. So I've also got veggies here, cabbage, and then another seafood bakute, this one with shrimp. 15 ringgit, and there looks like there's maybe, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 shrimp in there. That is packed full. Really unique. This is the classic bak kut teh back here, the pork ribs, beautiful rich broth, all of these. And then another veggie back here, green veggie, all in that amazing broth. And let me tell you, this smells absolutely incredible. So let's dig in. First things first, I gotta just try some of the broth by itself. That's what makes or breaks a bak kut teh place. It's not as medicinal as some bak kut tehs that I've tried. Usually you get this really kind of like anise and fennel flavor and kind of like Chinese herbs and spices, medicinal tasting. This one's more of like a salty, I can definitely taste the seafood in that one, and more of just like a regular pork broth. Not as strong as some bak kut tehs. Let me try the pork one though, just to find out if the broth they're using for the seafood bak kut teh and the pork is the same or not. Oh, maybe it's not the same actually, because that one has much stronger herbal flavor with a lot of white pepper flavor in there too. You try some of these little shrimps. Well, not so little actually, and there is a lot of them. It definitely seems as though it's kind of a weird combination, but at the same time, it also seems like a likely thing to do here in Borneo, where there's an abundance of seafood. The bak kut teh has really infused into the flavor of that shrimp. I mean, that's a meaty guy. The seafood here never disappoints. So fresh. Okay, let me go in for some of the ikan, the fish here. Peel off some meat. Oh yeah, look at that. Try it with a little bit of broth too. Oh, the fish is really soft. The meat just completely falls apart in your mouth. And I feel as though the seafood broth might be a little bit saltier than the other broths. I'm gonna make a little sauce. They've given me some garlic, raw garlic on the table, some raw chilies too. And then I think this might just be soy sauce or maybe vinegar. Add some of that, and then go for some of the pork ribs. They have all kinds of different cuts of pork, but pork ribs is definitely the most classic bak kut teh. So go for a little dunk in the garlic, chili, soy sauce. With that garlic, a little bit of heat from the chili, but honestly, the broth is a little bit too salty for me. It's good though. Actually, out of all the dishes, I think I'm loving the vegetables the most. They're really good. I don't think I've ever tried bak kut teh veggies before. The two seafoods are good. I'd have to give it up for the prawns, but I think I'll be sticking with pork bak kut teh from now on. Not the best bak kut teh I've ever had, but where else can you visit orangutans in the morning and eat bak kut teh at night? Pretty much, I think, only here in Sandakan, so definitely try it out when you're here. Wow, seafood bak kut teh. Definitely try it out when you're coming to Sabah, Malaysia. And you know, Sandakan is not necessarily famous for its food. It's more famous for its wildlife, and that's why I wanted to show you both. And I have more coming from this incredible island of Borneo here in Sabah, Malaysia. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell icon so you're notified. And I want to say a huge thank you to the Sabah Tourism Board for helping me out with this video. And I'll see you guys in the next episode of Chopstick Travel. Bye.